The myth of self-expression. You've been sold a poison and told it's medicine. Just be yourself, speak your truth. Wear your heart on your sleeve. These are the mantras of the powerless, the battle cries of those destined to remain on the sidelines, forever wondering why their authenticity never translated into respect. You've been taught that transparency is strength, that vulnerability is connection, that letting people see the real you is the ultimate power move. It is a trap. Machiavelli did not advise his prince to be authentic. He told him to master the art of seeming. The Stoics did not journal to express themselves. They wrote to armor their minds. You are confusing intimacy with influence. You think by showing your wounds, you'll gain allies. What you're actually doing is showing your enemies where to strike. Self-expression, as you've been taught it, is not liberation. It's strategic disarmament. Every time you just say what you think, every time you post your unfiltered opinion, every time you let your disappointment or excitement bleed into your posture, you are leaking power. You are giving away for free the very data your competitors use to map your weaknesses. You are not a canvas to be splattered with every passing emotion. You are a strategic asset, and an asset that announces its own vulnerabilities is a liability. It's time to retire the myth of self-expression and embrace the discipline of strategic opacity. If you're ready to stop being an open book and become a classified document, let's begin. Principle 1. Translate, don't transmit. Your raw feelings are useless. They are chaotic data, internal noise, the crude ore of your psyche. To express them directly is to dump raw sewage into a negotiating table. No one wants it. It just makes you stink. The first discipline is emotional alchemy. You do not transmit the raw feeling, you translate it into a strategic action. The alchemical process. Anger gives calculated pressure. You feel rage because a deadline was missed. The raw expression is to yell, to blame, to let your face turn red. The translation, you go silent. You schedule a meeting for 48 hours later. You arrive with a documented timeline of failures, speak in a low, calm tone, and propose a new, stricter protocol. The anger isn't gone. It has been transmuted into structural leverage. The emotion fueled the action, but the action bears no trace of the emotion. Excitement gives selective revelation. You land a huge client. The raw expression is to scream, post on LinkedIn, call all your friends. The translation, you say nothing. You let the results manifest in your calmer demeanor, your slightly better suit, your quieter confidence. When someone asks, you seem different, you offer a faint smile. Things are moving. Let them pry the good news from you. Your excitement becomes a reward you grant, not a secretion you leak. Fear gives reconnaissance. You're terrified of a business rival. The raw expression is anxiety, panicked calls, defensive posturing. The translation, your fear becomes the energy for deep research. You study their every move, their weaknesses, their patterns. Your fear is now a paid informant, working for you. It has been translated into intelligence. Stop saying what you feel. Start asking, what does this feeling want to build or prevent? Then build or prevent it. Let the action be the only message. Principle 2. Master the symbolic gesture. When you cannot remain totally opaque, and sometimes you cannot, must communicate through symbols, not confessions. A symbolic gesture is a controlled, deliberate action that carries layered meaning, revealing only what you choose, while obscuring the turmoil or the machinery beneath. The symbolic gesture is the language of kings, spies, and master strategists. It says everything and nothing at once. The grammar of symbolism. The withdrawal instead of the argument. Someone insults you in a meeting. The raw expression is to fire back. The symbolic gesture, you slowly close your notebook. You lean back in your chair. You look out the window for a 5 count, then return your gaze to the speaker, silent. You have not argued. You have demonstrated their irrelevance. The closed notebook is a more devastating rebuttal than any words. The small, perfect gift instead of the groveling apology. You wrong someone you need. The raw expression is to over-explain, beg, show your guilt. The symbolic gesture. You say nothing about the incident. You discover a small, impeccably chosen item related to their deepest passion. You have it delivered with a note that says only, "This made me think of your work on X." You have acknowledged the fracture not with messy emotion, but with flawless, expensive taste. You have reframed the relationship on your terms. The uniform instead of the explanation. You want to be seen as disciplined, sharp, reliable. The raw expression is to tell people, "I'm really disciplined." The symbolic gesture. You adopt a uniform, not a costume, but a refined, repetitive, signature style of dress, always the same cut, the same muted colors, the same impeccable grooming. The consistency itself becomes the message. It says, "My external world is under control, because my internal world is under control." You are no longer a person explaining his traits. You are a walking premise. Your actions must become hieroglyphics, rich with possible meaning, impossible to interpret with certainty, and therefore commanding respect through mystery. Principle 3. Cultivate the internal narrator. Your problem isn't that you feel things. Your problem is that your feelings scream in first person. "I'm humiliated. I need them to like me. I can't stand this." This internal voice is the saboteur. It is the one begging to be let out, to express itself. You must replace it with the internal narrator. This is the voice of the historian, the biographer, the strategist, observing the character of you in the story of your life. It speaks in third person. The narrator's protocol. Observation over identification. When a feeling hits, the narrator does not say, "I am angry." It says, "He feels a surge of anger." Interesting. The trigger was a challenge to his authority in front of peers. Note the physiological response: tightened jaw, increased heart rate. Analysis, overreaction. The narrator then asks, what strategic options does this emotional data present? Option A, lash out and reveal the insecurity. Option B, use the adrenaline for a razor-sharp, logical rebuttal. Option C, file the data on the challenger's tactics for future use and respond with silence. Archival overexpression. Finally, the narrator files the event. Chapter 43. The Boardroom Challenge. Subject's authority was tested. Emotional response was noted and contained. Outcome: strategic silence chosen. Rival's aggression was left to hang in the air, unaddressed. Result: rival appeared unhinged. Subject appeared unmoved. Status: +1. By narrating your life, you create critical distance. You are no longer the feeling, you are the curator of the feeling. This distance is the space where all power resides. It is the gap between the stimulus and your response, and in that gap you are free. You are not expressing yourself, you are authoring yourself. The new language. When you abandon raw self-expression for strategic opacity, You stop communicating in the common tongue of need and reaction. You begin speaking a rarer, more potent language. You speak through calibrated silence. You speak through impeccable action. You speak through unshakable consistency. You speak through symbolic gesture. People will no longer say, "I know how he feels." They will say, "I never know what he's thinking, but I always know what he'll do." They will stop trying to understand your emotions and start trying to decipher your patterns. They will stop looking for your heart and start looking for your code. And in their attempt to crack it, they will tie themselves in knots, revealing everything about themselves to you, while you reveal nothing. You have traded the messy, warm, vulnerable clutter of being yourself for the cold, clean, formidable architecture of becoming a phenomena. The myth told you that to hide was to be fake. The truth is, to reveal is to be fragile. The most powerful force in any room is not the loudest truth, but the quietest secret. The most compelling story is not the one told, but the one implied. Close the book on the real you. It's time to write a better character.